Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit for the SMRC Scottish Legends Car Championship.
Thank you very much, Fiona, and let's get down to business. Cars are on track, and on the front row of the grid it's Michael Paxton and Stuart Black, with Duncan, Vincent and Steve Whiteleg alongside each other on row number 2. Whiteleg, rumours are this could be his last meeting. We sincerely hope that that is not the case, because he's been a fabulous addition to the grid, driving one of the Cresta cars, a teammate to David Hunter, and that is Jordan Hodgson's car from last year. Then we've got Kieran Gallagher and Mark Beattie, and then the two Scottish Legends cars. In fact, one of them, that's Mark French on the inside alongside David Newell, as the cars rumble round Duffus Dip and head towards the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge. The pace car has headed to the pit lane, red lights off, and we're racing down towards the hairpin for the first time of asking. All the legends stream out across the track. 3 wide as Vincent tries to go up the inside, but that's not going to work. Paxton almost puts a wheel on the grass, but it looks like it's going to be Black as Beattie tries to go right round the outside of everybody. But that unfortunately doesn't work for him, but Whiteleg gets their front from Black, and is that Vincent or Paxton now as they head towards Clark's? The two white cars for Burnick Motorsport, very similar, and David Newell could be in there as well. Rally Dave in his number 60 car as they all come over at the top of Clark's and head down towards the chicane. No messing at the front though, it's car 66. Oh, I had to hold my breath there. Oh, and there's Kieran Beattie very wide through the chicane, goes across the grass, rejoins at the bottom of Butcher's, right in front of, I think that was John Critchlow. It's actually David Hunter in the Cresta car, the second of the Cresta cars in the race right now, because way at the front, that man there is Whiteleg, and Steve goes over the top of Duffus Dip and heads towards the hairpin. Fanning out already goes Black. Vincent tucks in behind Black, and we've got Rally Dave pushing them towards the hairpin as well. So it's all looking pretty good just now. David Hunter trying to pass 33 Kieran Beattie on the brakes, and he will do that, but was there a change at the front? Hunter gets 1, gets 2 going into the hairpin, and yes, there is a change at the front. We can see the white cars have managed to get through there, and who is it at the front? Is Vincent at the front from Black, with Rally Dave and Whiteleg side by side towards Clark Corner, and Mark Beattie just in behind him. David Newell slides up the inside in 60. Good manoeuvre there on Steve Whiteleg, and Steve will be very appreciative towards that. Good bit of hard, close, clean racing by those two guys here as Vincent comes through the chicane, followed by Stuart Black. Now climbs back up towards the McIntyre's area off the track. Mark Beattie still showing very well just now, right on the tail of that 66 car. Michael Paxton behind him, and then we've got David Hunter and John Patterson, nose to tail, not nose to nose. That wouldn't be a good thing, as they come onto the main straight underneath the Beatson's Bridge. These two starting to stretch away at the front now, Vincent and Black, as we come under. Oh, Stuart Black, off he goes. That's going to be a big hit to the tyre wall. David Hunter happens right in front of him. He's got an arm out the window trying to slow everybody down. That was a colossal accident for Stuart Black there, and let's hope he can climb out of that one. But one thing's for sure, the car will not be driving away from that as he heads, well, I think he'll be heading towards the medical centre for a small check over after that. Racing still happens, no sign of any red flags, just safety car possibly on standby. Let's see what happens to that as Vincent comes through the chicane. Still no safety car boards or flags out at the chicane. Oh, and off goes Beattie. And what happened to Mark Beattie there? That was a strange one. Big sideways moment towards the chicane. Gathers it all back up. Still no safety car boards. John Patterson wide on McIntyre's now. Beattie maybe just impeding wee Pat as he coming towards McIntyre's here. Difficult to see as the cars come onto the main straight, and I would imagine there'll be some sort of flags out here now. Have we got a safety car? Yes, we have now. The board frantically getting waved as well as the safety car does come out. And that is a good sight. Well, not a good sight. Stuart Black walks away from a very beaten up race car, which is a bad thing, the race car. But it's good that Stuart is A-OK, because that is possibly the fastest place you can go off in any race car here at Knockhill. And you can see the big skid mark from way back up there. Marshall's doing a cracking job with that one. If you fancy becoming a marshal, very easy to do. Check out the SMRC's website or go and find SMMC, and they will more than happily help you get on your way to becoming a marshal. Or you can also check out Motorsport UK's website as well if you want to get that a little bit closer to the action. So we need to push pause for a minute and just reset ourselves, because that was a frightening incident for Stuart Black. And there's not a lot of room in a legend, and Stuart is well over 6 foot, so great to see he's okay. Pace car looks like it's bolted for the pits. Vincent now goes, and he's followed very closely by Rally Dave. David Newell in number 60. He's judged that brilliantly. And here comes Whiteleg in the toe. Bit of a gap back to Paxton and everybody else. Those marshals are about to get a fright behind them. There's going to be some cars coming. Yeah, you might want to look that way. Look at that up the inside. There goes David Hunter. He passes Paxton. Brilliant move from David Hunter. Can he stop it? Yes, he can. And there's a change in the lead as well. David Newell slithers underneath Duncan. Vincent going through the apex of the corner. Bit of a mistake from Vincent there. And David Newell, well, he only needs half a chance, and he will take it as he leads towards Clark Corner from Vincent and Whiteleg. They're all fanning out behind them just now as they go through Clark Corner and head down the back straight. Looks like it's a challenge for the lead. They're going towards the chicane, but we're going to stay and look at Billy Waite having a bit of a grass tracky excursion down the back straight. And Billy, teammate to Stuart Black, thankfully comes back on and gets himself through the chicane as we look towards McIntyre's, and there was a change for the lead. So Vincent gets past Newell and Whiteleg with Hunter, Paxton, Beattie and then Patterson as Vincent big sideways over the crest of the hill. That's going to hurt his drive towards the hairpin. He will be not happy with himself on that one. And here comes the number 60 and the 66 car as they go over the line. Already he's back to second. He's now back to third as Whiteleg tries to go round the outside, and he'll make that stick. So a bit of a mistake by Duncan Vincent at the top of Duffy's Dip there, wheeling the grass sideways, just loses your drive, and that is so important that you have a good drive onto that main straight. So once again, it's as you were from a lap ago, leading towards Clark's, that number 60 car. David Newell over the crest of Clark's in the Kinloch Motor Engineering car, down the back straight he goes, into the chicane, chased hard by everybody else here. Lovely bit of cable. Oh, David Newell sideways through the corner, held that one very well. Vincent equally sideways through Butchers. These guys trying very hard, and look how many cars are all together. Stephen McGill's popped up in this one as well. Not mentioning Stephen there, sorry about that. In the Central Scotland Car Sales number 15 car as we go onto the main straight now and head towards the hairpin, and they're fanning out the front. Vincent goes back towards the pit wall. There'll be three wide as they come in towards the hairpin just now, and it's Whiteleg on the inside. David Newell backs out of it. Vincent tries to go round the outside of one. He gets round the outside of two. Tiny bit of contact on the way in there, and both he and Whiteleg thankfully get through the corner, and that's it. Vincent goes back into the lead now. Whiteleg right on the back bumper of that new College Lanarkshire number 7 Burnett Motorsport car as they head towards Clark Corner. This is fabulous racing from the Scottish Legends Championship cars, all at the front, so close, so evenly matched as they go down towards the chicane. Over the chicane, it's almost hold your breath time through the come there. Everybody this time makes it through perfectly. John Patterson getting a little bit agitated behind, I believe that's Stephen McGill. It is that, and then Mark Beattie behind him with Michael Paxton just off the back. Over the crest of Duffy's Dip they come. Vincent with a little bit of a breather behind him now. He should be able to hold that lead as they get towards the hairpin. The last lap board is out as Dave Hunter goes right up towards the back of David Newell. In towards the hairpin to come. Vincent does manage to hold his lead this time from Whiteleg as they come in. Patterson trying to go round outside of McGill. McGill holds him off on the brakes, and Rally Dave holds off David Hunter. But look at that, Hunter's about to lose a position now towards McGill. McGill being very strong as they come round towards Clark Corner. John Patterson just ready to pick up any pieces of legend or any pieces that might come his way as they come in towards Clark. Very aggressive across the nose of McGill there from David Hunter. A good move underneath. Paxton. Oh dear Michael. Round he goes, loses the rear of the car at the apex of Clarkson. That probably won't move from there, but it is the last lap of the race as they come into McIntyre's. That's a comfortable buffer for the number 7 car, Vincent at the front from Whiteleg. But can David Newell get that second place away from the Cresta Racing car of Steve Whiteleg as they come over the crest of Duffus up towards the checker flag? Vincent's already celebrating. That might be a bit premature, but there we go. The checker flag, it's a win. It's so close for second place as they cross the line, and David Newell steals it, absolutely steals it on the line from Steve Whiteleg there. Less than a tenth of a second, but a cracking race number 1 for Legends. So let's take a look at heat number 2 for the Scottish Legend cars as they make their way through Leslie's and back up Duffy's Dip. A reversal of grid number 1. So the guys on the front row, Stephen McGill and John Patterson, well, they were right on the back row earlier on. Back row this race sees Duncan Vincent and Michael Paxton. No Stuart Black, unfortunately, so Stuart can't get his car fixed, but he will be back for the next meeting, that's for sure, which will be at Anglesey you follow the Scottish Legends cars, they'll be down at Anglesey in a week or two's time. Red lights are on the bridge and on the starters gantry, cars coming up towards them. Res rise and away we go down towards the hairpin. It's a very equal start for everybody, and Mark Beattie pops out very early further back and tries to get round Colin McNeil. That's going to bottleneck up in towards the hairpin. And look at Beattie round the outside. He must have got about 7 or 8 cars, and there's contact further down, and round goes Colin McNeil. And in the mirror we can see his teammate Kieran Gallagher also goes round in a circle. So a disaster for those two guys, as Stephen McGill in the number 15 Central Scotland car sales car leads from John Patterson in the number 3 Burnett Motorsport car. Back heading towards Clark goes Colin McNeil, and Colin just making sure everything's okay with that car after having a bit of a bump there as he comes in towards Clark Corner. But meanwhile the leaders come through the chicane. Big jump over the curb for Mark Beattie in 3rd place. He's got David Hunter, then it's Whiteleg, then it's Billy Waite, but somebody was having a sneak up the inside. Yes, and that would be Valley Dave. David Newell slithers the number 60 car past Billy Waite. McIntyre's a difficult overtaking place, but David Newell was coming through there no matter what as the cars come onto the main straight. David Hunter pops out from the slipstream on Mark Beattie, just doesn't have enough to get past. Is he going to be brave on the brakes here? Yes, look at that, the current champion, bang, bang, bang with the gears round the outside he goes. That's as cheeky as they come. Has he managed to hold that? Oh no, he's not, because Mark's pretty good on the exit of the corner. And now this is a big, brave manoeuvre side by side towards Clark's. Beattie could have this. Hunter's just going to have the better bit of track position and can brake later into the corner. He gets across the nose. We can see that in the rearview mirror. Good bit of overtaking there from the current champion, and Duncan Vincent slithers past Billy Waite and Kieran Beattie going through the top of Clark Corner as well. As everybody arrives at the chicane all together, they're all really choking themselves up for 3rd place here, as these two guys are very much making hay while the sun shines at Knockhill, and this is a pretty honest, fair fight at the front. Stephen McGill has great pace this year, and we've seen that as John Patterson takes a whole heap of curb at the top of Duffus Dip there. And John Patterson, well, we know all about wee Pat, multiple champion, and just all he ever wants to do is win races. There was an overtaking manoeuvre happening further back down. I think that was possibly Duncan Vincent as they went past in towards the apron. They will soon see in just a minute coming up. Yes, he goes round the outside of David Newell, and did he go round the outside of Beattie as well there? We'll have to pick that up on the camera as we come back just now. But heading towards Clark's, it is still these two guys at the front, and they're putting in some pretty hot lap times, a 58.3 and a 58.5 respectively. 53 for Patterson, 55 for McGill as we go on board. Oh, there's a terrifying sight. Looking back at wee Pat, just look how smooth he is as he goes through the chicane there. Hardly any movement on the steering wheel. Down a gear for McIntyre, through he goes. As David Newell goes up the inside of Mark Beattie. Can he do it? No, he can't. He was thinking about it, but he couldn't do it. And just ahead of them, we've got Duncan Vincent. So this next group has got Hunter, Whiteleg and Vincent as they come onto the main straight, and Vincent and Whiteleg in a good place for a slipstream here, already drafting up behind. We can see the onboard camera here, or look at the mirror. There goes Whiteleg one side, Vincent's in the toe, he pops out, he goes to the outside, he's going to try and go round the outside here, banged with the gears for David Hunter, and Vincent goes round the outside of the two of them on the brakes at the hairpin there. That was a pretty strong manoeuvre, and he'll be pretty happy with that one as he heads towards Clark's, although Whiteleg coming back at him now as they head towards Clark, as we go back on board with whoever this is, John Patterson. Patterson sneaks past going into Clark's, so wee Pat does get past Stephen McGill. McGill tries to fight down and nibble at the back of that Burnett Motorsport car as they go through the chicane just now. Oh, Patterson with a big slide over the first curb, still gathers it up going towards Butchers, but not really an overtaking place for McGill to get through and capitalise on that. Vincent's now alone in 3rd place. He's pulled away from Whiteleg, but I think the gap at the front will be far too big for him to try and catch up with these two guys as we go on board with David Hunter. But just listen to this as he comes up the main straight in the slipstream. Does he? Yes, he does. He pops out. He's on the inside, perfect place here. As he goes down towards the hairpin, passes his teammate on the brakes. Now down the gears, down 1, down 2, down 3 gears and back to the apex. He'll be happy with that one as John Patterson in the number 3 car still leads the way. Further back down in the field right now in 9th place, Michael Paxton. We've not mentioned Michael, just ahead of him is Kieran Beattie as McGill looks towards the inside of John Patterson. And then we've got Kieran Gallagher, John Critchlow in the Scottish Legends cars, car number 86 in 11th place just now, ahead of Billy Waite, Colin McNeil and Mark French as we again, that was a rough ride for John Patterson through the chicane that time. A little bit too much of the red curb, but you can see just how hard that is on the car and the body as well. You do get thrown about a fair bit in these legend cars, and they can be quite aggressive for your old back as we come through Leslie's and over the crest of Duffy's Dip now and head towards the end of the race. The cars at the front pretty spaced out, but that was a pretty quick lap that time for Duncan Vincent. That's flashed up on our screen, a lap record of 57.919. He'll be happy with that one as David Newell comes into the hairpin and tries to go round the outside of both Whiteleg and Hunter. Hunter's had that happen to him once. He will not be letting that happen again, and he doesn't give David Newell the chance to do that. And John Patterson now putting in a fabulous bit of effort here at the front, pulls away from Stephen McGill, but McGill strong on the brakes into Clark's as they come down through the back straight. One gear all the way down there, and then turn it in as quick as you can for the chicane. 1, 2 and 3 through they all come there, absolutely all together and looking pretty much similar. And then we've got Hunter, we've got Whiteleg, Newell, big sideways for Newell just ahead of Beattie. And he manages to hold it. David Newell looks absolutely all over the place going through there, and there's a car on the gravel. That looked like it was a Scottish Legends car of Mark French, and if it was, that's Billy Waite. McNeil tries to go up inside, but no, Billy Waite doesn't let that happen. As Colin still maybe fighting a bit of an evil car just now after that coming together at the hairpin. As we come in towards the hairpin, Vincent looks like he's actually starting to put a charge together on McGillis. Hunter, oh no, oceans of understeer through the corner there and loses 2 positions, one to his teammate and then one to Rally Dave. Newell, well, we've said this before about him, you only need to give him half an inch and he'll take a mile and he'll put that car through the gap. But nice clean fair overtaking there as the rest of the guys all head over the crest of Clark's and down the back straight towards the chicane. Patterson with a comfortable gap now. Oh, Patterson's over the grass going through the chicane. Very, very lucky to get away with that one. And Vincent now right on the tail off McGill. So this late race charge by the New College of Lanarkshire Burnett Motorsport car really has come together. And he's absolutely flying now. A lap record and some fast laps on the way. But catching's one thing, passing is another as we go on to the last lap now. And John Patterson's lead's extended now. Stephen McGill maybe just taking his eye off the ball a little bit and he's trying to consolidate his second place as he covers the inside going into the hairpin there. Good move from McGill. He saw that one coming from Vincent, and not to be as everybody else arrives at the bottom of our screen all together at the hairpin. That looked pretty exciting as they all leave the hairpin together now and side by side as Kieran Beattie and Michael Paxton both go through shot now. The Beattie Motorsport car just ahead of the Burnett car as we come down the back straight. Whoa, Vincent get a little bit keen there. That was kicking up the dust as he comes into Clark's. Is up the inside of Billy Waite, goes Colin McNeil. Oh, he locks it back, who's up round, he goes, spins. Oh, and catches Billy Waite as well. What a shame that is. This little number 4 car, well, there's bits hanging off it now, and that's justified. He's been in the wars quite a bit. John Patterson, no. Over the crest of his dip, second place for McGill. Now can Vincent drag McGill to the line? The checker flag is ready for Patterson over the crest of the hill. Here he comes. Vincent right in the slipstream. We're in the checker flag box right now. Patterson goes through. McGill just holds on to that second place from Duncan Vincent, with David Newell and Steve Whiteleg coming home in 5th place. David Hunter, Mark Beattie, Kieran Beattie, Paxton and Gallagher rounding out the top 10, with John Critchlow, Billy Waite, Colin McNeil and Scottish Legends car Mark French rounding out the field. A happy John Patterson, thumbs up to his teammate Duncan Vincent. They'll be chuffed with that one.
So John Patterson, multiple champion, back on the top step of the podium. Congratulations.
Thanks very much. Made up a wee bit for disappointment this morning. 6th. This morning was a disaster. I was up to 4th and I went off the track in the gravel, lost 2 places and couldn't get back up. So I was hugely disappointed because I was really fast in practice and got in familiarisation this morning. And so my expectations were quite high, but 6 was a bad one. That race there was better, but we moved the brake pedal before we went out there, and I couldn't get my foot properly on the brake, so it was a bit of a kind of compromise. But once I got ahead of Stephen, I just kind of managed it. But I was just glad to get a win. I need to try and make up some points in the championship. I'm already falling behind.
And are you the previous lap record holder? It's now been taken by Duncan Vincent.
Yeah, Duncan beat me there, but I think if he checks the sheet in familiarisation, I did a 57.4. I think that beats his 57.9, even though it was in a race. Plus he was getting a draft and I was on my own. So, but I know Duncan's got a lap record again. Every single time I've got a lap record, he comes out one race and beats it, and then I spend seasons trying to get it back. But hopefully I'll get it back in the final today, and I'll go home happy.
Duncan Vincent, you started second last and you got up to 3rd. Good race. Yeah,
cracking race. A legend race that's fabulous. Fiona, you've got cars, you're dicing with cars, and I managed to get through the mid pack quite quickly. Some good overtaking manoeuvres I got, and then wee Pat, John and Stephen McGill were quite far ahead, so I just tried to get my head down and pull away from the guys behind me and catch up with them. And I knew I was putting a string of good laps together, because it was, it's not big chunks, it's just little bits. You notice little areas in the track where you're catching them. And in that chase, I managed to get the lap record from Pat,
I thought you'd sneak that in there.
Which isn't going down too well. As you can see him right now, he's moaning in the background about my car being so quick. But no, then Pat drove a stormer of a race here. He was in front, and I think Stephen might have started looking in his mirrors towards the end of it, seeing I was coming, let Pat go. And I had one shot at Stephen going into McIntyre's. He made a mistake at the chicane, and it was too much of a iffy manoeuvre. He was willing to cut across the front, and I was not willing to take him out. I've done that before. I don't want to do that to Stephen again. He's going for a championship. I'm not here for the full championship, so it was just kind of, podium. It's good. I won in a third today so far.
A few people have said that reverse direction is impossible to overtake, but I think you would beg to differ.
Yeah, I think, I don't know how many cars in the race, 18? We've done okay overtaking there. For a place you can't overtake reverse direction, certainly seem to do okay.
I think he's got a very good chance from there, but Michael Paxton, hold on.
The final for the Scottish Legends cars comes towards the end of the day. You can see the long sun now, or the long shadows from the sun I should say, on the Legends. This is the very last race of the day, and the red lights are already on. Front row grid, away we go. Mark French against Michael Paxton down towards the hairpin we go. John Patterson pops out very early as well, and can wee Pat and Duncan Vincent get from the back towards the front? Look again at Mark Beattie, he's got that absolutely nailed. He takes a whole handful of positions there as Michael Paxton, touching the back of Colin McNeil, has to get out of the throttle, and that is just going to be a nightmare for him. There's going to be so many cars passing him, and John Patterson, brilliant start, just gets across the nose of John Critchlow there as they come in towards Clark Corner. He's got Kieran Gallagher, his teammate, ahead of him now, and Kieran is starting to get back up to speed in the Legend. He's been away for a couple of years doing other things. Great to have him back in the Legend as Patterson slides past him going in towards the chicane. As we look back now, good line from Kieran there. Michael Paxton has just had David Newell slither past him as they come back up through Butchers in towards McIntyre's down again. Oh, something's gone wrong with that. A lot of smoke at the back, and Michael Paxton has that broken the rear axle of the car. So a bad day gone worse for Michael Paxton as Mark Beattie, John Patterson. That looks like Kieran Gallagher was popping out to pass Billy Waite on the main straight there for third place as they go into the hairpin. We're on board with him just now. Yeah, and up inside. Oh, Vincent. Oh, almost gets caught out by Billy Waite. Moving over in the braking lane there. Puts a wheel in the gravel, but how did he not go straight on there? He managed to get through the corner. So that's a new way of getting through the hairpin in a Legend. Use the gravel to slow you down. That's quite novel. As we head towards Clark Corner, and we see the two leaders at the front, in the two blue cars and a white car, and it's Kieran Gallagher getting pressure from the man who was runner-up in the National Championship last year. And look at Vincent coming through Clark's with a whole head of steam as well. Whiteleg will get past the chicane, Vincent won't. He'll have to stay where he is in that one, but Gallagher looked a bit wide there as John Patterson slides up the inside, takes a whole heap of red curb though, just to make sure he gets through, and Kieran Beattie goes off, spins in front of the pack, back to the inside. Thank goodness nobody collected that number 33 Legend, or that would have been a large impact there. Kieran back on the grass on the inside, and let's hope he can get going from there. Vincent did get past Kieran Gallagher as through on Billy Waite goes David Hunter onto the brakes, down 3 gears, bong into the hairpin. Oh, and he gets a good apex of Billy Waite coming in with what looked like a whole heap of understeer, but the car hooked up through the apex of the corner and got out of it pretty well. As we head round towards Clark's once again in this, the final, and remember the final 10 laps, the heats are 8 laps, so the final, if you're out in front like John Patterson's right now, the final seems to feel like 100 laps, never mind 10 laps as we come down the back straight towards the chicane. David Hunter looking back, nice bit of clear track behind him, but somebody's making a manoeuvre further down the field there as in towards McIntyre's comes the 2018 Scottish champ, and over the crest of the hill goes former champ before that, and now Whiteleg's under pressure from Vincent. Whiteleg puts a wheel in the dirt. Will that let Vincent get that opportunity in towards the hairpin that he needs? He's been going pretty well and overtaken today. Pops out on the slipstream. He's trying again to go around the outside. Brave move. Can he do it? Yes, he can. He gets the manoeuvre done. He has to watch not get the back of Mark Beattie's car as Mark gets a good apex. And Mark Beattie really has found a great run of form recently. He's getting faster and faster with each race, but he's got Vincent popping out from the slipstream as they go towards Clark. Side by side, battle of the bravest on the brakes here. Vincent will have this. You'd think he's on the outside, but he can brake later and get through the corner. Yes, just cuts across the nose of Mark Beattie, who will probably lose a little bit of time, and he'll be under attack from Steve Whiteleg as they come in towards the chicane. But Mark Beattie definitely mixing it there. Relatively new to the Scottish Legends Championship, but finding great pace, as is Kieran Gallagher, who's still ahead of the 2018 champ. Vincent misses his apex by about a week and a half there, but he gets through the corner okay. Now Whiteleg looks towards the inside as we go on board with David Hunter. He's picking up a slipstream from Kieran Gallagher. Will Kieran defend? Not really. He leaves that wide open for Dave Hunter to come through on the inside, and Dave takes that position, and a good manoeuvre. And is that Stephen McGill starting to come through? Yes, it is. And will he have number 60? Probably. Yeah, glued to his bumper. That will be David Newell. Guaranteed. Where there's one, there's another one. Heading towards Clark Corner they all go, with John Patterson still in the lead. Duncan Vincent in second place, and Steve Whiteleg now up into second place. And that, remember, it could be Steve Whiteleg's last time in a Legend. We hope not. If he doesn't do Anglesey, we'd love to have him back for Knockhill. Great addition to the championship. As we see John Patterson go through the crest of Duffus. Vincent's not getting away from Whiteleg, and Beattie's not falling off the back of Whiteleg either. Oh, David Hunter! The back of the car comes into view before the front of the car, and that's going to hurt him on the main straight. Here comes Gallagher, but Gallagher's getting slipstreamed as well. He drives into the back of David Hunter. That should help him and make his position safe. But is Stephen McGill brave on the brakes? Yes, he is. He goes up the inside. Nothing David Hunter can do but just pre-rally. Dave's not slithering through that same gap. It's Kieran Gallagher who tried to get back underneath him there, the blue number 2, and now he's under big pressure from number 60, Newell, as they head round towards the hairpin, or head from the hairpin to Clark, sorry, as John Patterson now extending that lead at the front. Fast last lap time for wee Pat. He did a 58.0. It's not quite the lap record, but it's not bad. Vincent's last lap, though, was a 57.961, and Whiteleg managed a 58.0 as well, so they're all lapping right in the same almost tenth of a second, which is pretty impressive. If we go further down through the field, the lap times are pretty much the same. It's a McGill 58.1, it's a 58.9 for Beattie, it's a 58.7 for Hunter, and David Newell as well, another fast man with a 58.3 as we go back on board with Hunter. And look at this, Kieran Gallagher's about to get rally Daved on the main straight as they come into the hairpin here. How brave's Kieran on the brakes? Well, David Newell had that one already done and dusted. Oh, and in towards the hairpin. I've got to say, I think David Hunter saw that coming and was maybe a little bit wary about turning in there, as we see Kieran Beattie, oh dear, standing on the tile surveying the damage. And here comes Newell towards Clark Corner. David Hunter, who's going to hold this? Everybody on the outside's won already today, but this time Hunter's braver on the brakes. But look at that, Newell will cut back, I would imagine, through the apex. Yes, racing drivers manoeuvre from David Newell there. A wee flick of the fingers on the steering wheel from David Hunter. It was a good effort from David Hunter, and I think he realised that as he follows Newell through Butchers and the chicane area in towards McIntyre's. Down the gears as Pat goes over the crest of Duffus Dip. Vincent's now pulled away from Whiteleg, and they've both pulled away from Beattie. Then we get Stephen McGill, and it's quite spaced out, this one, apart from these two. A big sideways moment for Rally Dave onto the straight. He's getting pushed by Hunter, and here comes Kieran Gallagher back into the mix. So as they head towards the hairpin, hang on to your hats. Bit of bump drafting on the main straight here. Will Hunter back off? He obviously backs off before the brakes are applied. Good manoeuvre there, and David Newell gets through the hairpin pretty quick and manages to put a little bit of time between himself and the pursuing number 6 car. Cresta Racing car ahead of the Burnett Motorsport car number 2 of Kieran Gallagher. The blue and gold wheels. Looking a little bit familiar, that car, almost John Patterson-esque, so that may get a colour change throughout the year as Patterson, Vincent and Whiteleg go through the chicane. Those 3 cars on almost the exact same bit of tarmac, a bit more tarmac used by Beattie, and he's going to come under pressure if he doesn't watch from Stephen McGill in the next lap or two, because McGill has definitely got a head of steam going here as we come onto the main straight. Again, John Patterson will be so desperate to see that last lap board, because he'll see his teammate in his mirror. He'll be thinking, I think I've got this one in the bag, but you just never know what happens in Legend Racing. Side by side, that's Rally Dave on the inside of us. We can just see his back wheel with orange strip around it, and on the brakes goes Hunter. Hunter will have this one if he can slow it down and get through. Newell's already trying to think about cutting through the apex of the corner as he does, but just not enough space there for David Newell. You could see what he was thinking, you could tell what he was up to when he was out there, menacing as ever. And look at the draft working now. Where will he go here? He's just going to stick on the back bumper of Hunter as they go in towards Clark Corner, but not really an overtaking place from that far back as these 3 guys make their way in towards the complex of Knockhill. It's great driving one direction, it's just as much fun driving in the reverse direction as well, as we see Michael Paxton's car parked off to the side of Leslie's there after that. What we can only imagine was a rear axle failure. And there goes the last lap board for John Patterson, and he will now be smiling with every gear change and every press of the brake pedal as he goes into the hairpin. He'll get through there, and he'll know that basically if he can get out of Clark Corner, the race will be John Patterson's. Vincent's not close enough to be attacking him, and John Patterson could almost short shift through the gearbox and just tick off the corners as he goes in towards Clark's. He'll go down a gear, he'll go over the crest of the hill and head towards the chicane, maybe even short shifting on the back straight just to try and save that engine, because you start hearing all sorts of noises, you start smelling all sorts of oils, and through the chicane he comes. The two behind him are still absolutely on it as they come through Butchers. And Steve Whiteleg, what a brilliant addition to the championship. I've got to see, that car sounding a little bit strange. It sounds like there's a bit of an exhaust blow from it, so whether that's hurting him in performance we'll only find out after. But up towards the checker flag for heat number 3, the final. Checker flag made ready. John Patterson first, Duncan Vincent second, a Burnett Motorsport 1-2. Cresta Racing, Steve Whiteleg comes home in third place, and it's going to be Stephen McGill in the Central Scotland car sales from Mark Beattie in the Beattie Motorsport car. And side by side was Newell and Hunter together, with Newell getting that position as they crossed the line. Gallagher Waite and John Critchlow in the Scottish Legends car comes home in 10th, with French and Colin McNeil rounding out the finishers.
So, exciting day of Legend Racing comes to an end here at Knockhill. Third place to Steve Whiteleg, and it's been a fantastic weekend and a fantastic visit for you, Steve.
It has, yeah. I've really enjoyed every time I've been. First round I came, it was nice and wet, just what I expected from Knockhill, but today weather's been great, and the guys that we're racing against are superb. I really must say that. It's completely different to racing with the Nationals, where it's dog eat dog. I mean, these guys do want to win, but it's fairly and squarely, and I've really enjoyed racing with them.
Yeah, there's a lot of respect. It features highly up here in Scotland, doesn't it?
Yeah, there is, and that's how it should be. It's club racing, it's good fun, everybody wants to finish, everybody wants to go home with a car in one piece, and that's what I've come up here to do, is enjoy myself, and I've done that.
Well, congratulations, Steve. Well done on the third place. I'm going to shift up here. And it's all right, it's all right. On you go then, Dunk. You can sit on the top step. Second place for Duncan Vincent. No stranger to the circuit here, but it's been an epic weekend for all of us.
It's been great. I mean, first of all, that final race, racing with Steve there, Steve's a class act. I felt really safe around him, but I needed to get past him because I know how quick he is, and he would string together good laps. Well, I got past him. Part was too far gone by that point, so I for a lap I started to just kind of take it easy and short shift, and then I thought he's going for the lap record. So I tried a little bit, but I'm not doing the whole championship. You know, this guy's doing the whole championship, so if I can just finish behind him, it's a good day. But for the first, second, and third, fastest lap and a lap record, so it's been pretty good day. I'm delighted. Thank you to Burnett Motorsport, Stephen McCall, New College Lanarkshire, Tans Tan and Bellside Timber, all the guys that put the car together, and they gave me a fabulous machine today, and you know, it's a great fun to drive.
You'd never guess he works on the radio. Well done, Duncan Vincent. Right, we'll shift over, have a chat with your race winner, JP, John Patterson. Great to see you again on the top step of the podium. 2 wins out of 3. Talk us through it.
Yeah, day started pretty poor, but it gradually got better. The second race, I was hoping to have first or second because I had a front row start. But the final was great, opened up for me. These things sometimes work for you, sometimes don't. I certainly was giving it everything straight off the line, because I knew I needed to pick places up straight away. Managed to pick up a wee hole on the outside, and then down the back straight, another wee hole appeared. There was, I think, somebody had a wee coming together, I missed a gear or something, and they all get held up. And just one of the days, I managed to skip through the traffic quicker than Duncan. I'd say Duncan in race trim today was the fastest guy, but thankfully I had enough of a lead to bring it home. But I'll tell you what, it was the longest 10 laps of my life. I thought maybe the last lap board had been taken home with somebody early, because I'm saying that must be 9, 10, 11, 12. Where is it? So I was glad to get to the end.
Are you going to wake up the cold sweat thinking Duncan Vincent lap record?
Not at all. No, it's a temporary issue. That's something that will be addressed very soon, and that gives me something to aim for. But he deserves it today because he was the quickest guy, so fair play.